Well, our guest today is an Academy Award-winning actor. He's a producer. He's an author. He's starred in some of Hollywood's most iconic movies, including The Dallas Buyers Club, Interstellar, and The Wolf of Wall Street. He's also a New York Times best-selling author. He happens to be a proud Texan, and he's here today to tell us all about his wonderful new Apple TV Plus film. It's called The Lost Bus. Welcome, Matthew McConaughey.
Good to see you. It's a good thing we started recording, man, because before we started recording, we almost did the whole show.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
Because we hit the road with your mum.
Yeah.
Your mother, who has the most Irish sounding name. And I'm sorry to play the Irish card so early, but it's because...
Let's do it, man.
Okay, you're happy.
Sunday morning. Man.
Introduce your mother to the room, please. In a manner of speaking.
Mary Kay McConaughey.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Before that, Mary Kay McCabe. 93 years young.
Yeah.
Living on yes and denial.
Yes and denial.
Yes.
She truly is an Irish person. Any guilt in there as well?
Not for her anymore.
We're good at
I've
guilt.
still got it.
You've got it.
I've got it.
You got the Catholic
and
guilt.
And we can go on and on about why I think it's a good thing to have.
Give me a
guilt as
twist of
compass.
the guilt, the Irish guilt. Why is
It's
it
a bit
good?
of a compass, mate. I mean, I think we need to bring back embarrassment a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, it seems like embarrassment's gone. There's some people doing some things half-assed and some things, and I'm like, you sleep okay with that, bro? Like, so a little bit of embarrassment that can lead to a little bit of a shame, that can lead to a little bit of guilt, helps us move back towards what will feed our good wolf.
So that's
down the
great.
road,
So the guilt.
But my mom doesn't have any of this, mate.
Yeah.
None anymore.
Where'd it go?
Okay. So you know how it seems like when you're young in your 20s, you're a revolutionary, right? And you get 30s and 40s, you start to go, mom and dad, they kind of, what they said made some sense. Maybe that responsibility they taught me. Right. But then in the 60s, it seems like everyone turns into a revolutionary again.
Yeah.
And my mom's one of those. It's like consideration, my ass.
Yeah.
I don't care. My mom now will go fib and do stuff, and I'm like, Mom, come on, man.
Where's your shame? Where's your guilt?
What? And she's like, oh, no, not anymore. And I said, but don't you have anything?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that you go over, Rolodex your day about what you could do better, that you maybe regret. And she goes, oh, honey, I've got a long list. It's usually about 25 things a night. And I go, oh, good, okay. She goes, but the thing is, when I wake up in the morning, I forgot them all. Wow. So she is, no one forgives themselves quicker than my mother. She has zero stress. And if she doesn't like something, boom, she denies it.
She denies it straight away. I just love the fact that the reason I mentioned her was because Kathleen Mary.
Yep.
Once it's brought to Kay,
yay,
that's it.
Yep.
That's your Irish passport stamped right there.
That's
so
right.
She's got Kay McCabe.
Mary Kathleen McCabe.
Any idea where she's from on the island?
I do not know.
Yeah.
Where she's from on the island.
Did you do who do you think you are? The program. Were you ever subject? You should do it. You'd be brilliant at it.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
They would bring.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
That show. Sorry,
did Downey Jr. do this?
Yeah, I think so. Where they bring you back to trace your roots.
No, I haven't done it.
You should be. I think you'd really enjoy that.
I would enjoy that. You know who else enjoy that? My family. My kids are very interested, and they've done their own research on the side.
Because their mother, your wife, is Brazilian. Is that right? So you've got a really, really deep.
In a different path to America, for sure.
Completely. Yeah. I wanted to ask you one other thing about this, like the Hibernian connection, if you like, which is storytelling.
Yeah.
And how you kind of flirted with religiosity, and certainly you talked about not becoming a monk. I don't know how serious that was, but your friend, the monk, who said to you, don't even think about it.
No, Brother Christian, who's an abbot, the Monastery of Christ in the Desert in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I went, to see him in 1996, right after I'd gotten famous off of A Time to Kill, where all of a sudden the world just flipped on me. Yeah. I met no strangers. My feet were damn right off the ground. Yeah. And I was trying to, disseminate what's real, what's BS. And so I went out there, and I remember walking with him and sort of just confessing all of my sins, of the mind, of the flesh, and all of what's going on. And he listened to me for 4.5 hours. And we ended up back at the chapel, and I'm dribbling snot out of my nose, crying. And I finish. I finally quit talking. He hasn't said a word for 4.5 hours. It's silent for a minute, and I look up at him, waiting for this penance he's about to give me, right? And he looks at me, and he smiles, and he leans in, and he goes, me too. And I went, thank you. Anyway, I'd continued to visit there and visit that monastery and him and the other monks and brothers, and I was thinking that again, my path that I had earlier in life felt like was my path to sort of dedicate my life to pursuing divinity and maybe becoming a monk. And he was like, no, because you have a gift to communicate. You don't want to have a monastic life. I don't think that's what you've been put here to do.
Yes.
You're a storyteller. You communicate. Go translate. Go into the world and do that. And it just gave me some freedom to go, okay, that's another path.
That sounds lovely. That sounds like you were kind of unburdened.
Very much unburdened.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That you had this in your brain or your soul, your heart, this curious question about whether or not you really wanted to be a monk, and you needed to unlock that box.
Well, and I have such a reverence for that. Boy, if someone that's going to dedicate their life to God and seeing God in every living thing, wow.
It's a lot.
Wow.
It's a lot.
Amen. This mortal stuff we're doing pales in comparison. I mean, what a reverential, wonderful thing to do. But to hear that from him and to hear that, no, it's different. We all have different qualities. We all have different things that we should share. And your gift that you should share, why you shouldn't actually become a monk.
Yes.
Is because you would then cut off your connection to be sharing the stories and be the storyteller.
Yeah, in a manner of speaking, it would have been irresponsible of you to become a monk.
To look at it like that's even better. I mean, it sounds like we should have a party. Yeah.
To celebrate the lack of monkliness.
Yes.
Let's go for it. Shall we talk about the movie?
Man.
We've got loads of places to go. For a few things about The Lost Bus, which is in certain cinemas now, but definitely will be on your Apple TV Plus on the 3rd of October, it's a true story.
Yep.
You spent time with the man on whom you base your role.
Kevin McKay.
Kevin, and you are directed by, I think, one of the great, I don't know if the expression is verite, but that handheld sense of you're living on your nerves. Paul Greengrass, he did it so
Urgent
brilliantly.
documentary style, an unknowing camera, as he puts it.
Oh, I love that.
Which is, don't cut to me right after you quit talking.
Yeah.
Only take the camera off you if your hand or if you throwing something at me, and that if you give the camera a reason, the camera must have a reason. Camera shouldn't anticipate the move.
Yes.
If the character gives it reason.
Yes.
Now pan over to what
so
I'm
it's like
looking
being
at.
shouted at in a room. And you go,
Yes.
And you hear your name.
Exactly, but not earlier. Don't go before. Shout.
Because how would you know you're going to be shouted at in advance, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Exactly.
But it adds that sense of urgency to this film. Can you tell us a little bit, because it's a true story.
Yep.
Do you want to give us a sense of the story?
So the movie we made is based on the true story. But here's our movie that we made that did, and most of these events actually did happen. The man I play, Kevin McKay, comes home because his father has passed on. So he's going to take care of his now widowed mother and try to reunite with his son. He takes up a job as a part-time bus driver, school bus driver. This particular morning, he takes the kids, drops them off at school. There's a fire brewing across the canyon, but the fires had always come in through that time, and the first responders would always go up and put it out. Well, on this day, when the first responders went up to put that fire out, the winds were different than ever before. And this fire jumped the canyon all of a sudden and was on top of the town of Paradise. So there was a mandatory evacuation. Just as the first responders are trying to get back in town to fight the fire off, the whole city's evacuating. Not a good recipe for being able to put out the fire. Well, at this time, this man, Kevin McKay, turns his school bus around and is like, I got to go get my mom and my son.
Yeah.
Neither one of them can drive. And just as he makes that decision, it comes through dispatch on his CB. I've got 23 stranded kids on the east side of town. Does anyone have an empty bus? Well, guess who has an empty bus on the east side of town?
Yeah. The man with the
Kevin
commitment.
McKay.
Yeah, Kevin with the commitment to his family.
Who's on his way to go get his mom and his son.
Yeah.
And now he's got that decision to make.
Yeah.
What do I do?
Well, that's
Well,
it.
this man said, okay. He took the right and said, I'm going to get the kids. And his day became something a nightmare he never dreamed of. And he picked up the kids and this teacher, Mary Ludwig, played by American Ferrera. And this is the story of the next 6 hours on that bus with those 22 kids.
It has the feel of a disaster movie, but that's a glib thing to say about something that actually happened and was so serious. But it does have that sense of urgency also...
Look, in one text, it is a horror movie.
Yes.
It is debilitating. It's penetrating. It's scary.
Yeah.
You take the ride and you almost, when you get out, you go catch your breath. But at the same time, that's what Paul does well. That's what Paul Greengrass does well. You have an epic, urgent scale. You've never seen fire on screen like this before.
No, you
haven't. He shoots the fire like a predator, like it's Jaws.
Yeah, he does. I love that description. And for people who have seen Captain Phillips and people who've seen United 93 and closer to home, Bloody Sunday, in that particular film, because I was watching your film thinking, oh, that's so clever. In Bloody Sunday, the phone didn't stop ringing in the corner of a room for scene after scene because no one was picking up the phone because they were in this film it's dispatch callers. They're constantly there, but they're a character.
They're there, but no one knows if the message is getting received.
Yes.
So everyone's pleading to. They don't know it. Unbeknownst to them, they're pleading to a black hole. The fires have burned down all the cell towers. There was no cell service. The fires have burned down any communication between dispatch. So people were checking, and Kevin was giving reports on his bus where he was, if the kids were safe, but he didn't know if they were being received. And guess what? They were not being received. No one heard any of it.
Your mum, the aforementioned, the great Kay McCabe from sites unknown in Ireland yet. We'll fix that for the next interview. She stars in this film. She's 93, is that right?
93.
Okay, so she's magnificent. Your son also is in this film. You did a lovely thing. I'm jumping ahead because I don't want you to have to tell the same stories over again, but you did a lovely thing where your son said, I want to get involved in this movie. You said, well, son, you know, I'm not pushing you in the door and saying, here's my boy. You do it the hard way. And you took his name off.
Do it the real way.
Yeah,
I
thought that was impressive.
I got him on. I shot his audition on my mobile device, and it was like, he's good.
Brilliant.
Okay,
yeah, you knew. I wonder if he was awful, would you have had a terrible paternal moment?
If he was awful, I would not have sent it, and I would have told him. I was like, let me tell you why this is BS.
Time to train.
We got more work. We got a lot more work to do, and also maybe you should question: is this what you really want to do?
So you would have had that conversation with him, rather than give him some sort of fake false.
No, I don't want to get him led on a.
But the good news is you were right, and your gut was right. And
he was solid. He had the instincts for it. I sent it in to the casting director. I said, I think this might be good enough for a callback. She writes back and says, I think it might be good enough to send to Mr. Greengrass. I said, oh, great. Can you do me the favor of pulling the last name off?
I love that.
And you know why?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, of course I do.
What if he all right, say he gets it, which he did. Is he going to have something in the back of his mind that, oh, my last name helped me get that job?
That's gone.
And I said, let it lay where it lays. Let the ball land, lay where it lands, and let it go and send him in as just Levi. She pulled the last name. Paul sees it and goes, that's the kid.
Can I ask you, and this might seem like a peculiar question, but I'll ask it anyway. When you hear the Bee Gees singing together, for example, since they were boys, there's a beautiful timbre to the voice that you think could only come from blood, could only come from a fraternal simpatico.
By the way, one of the great documentaries, that BG documentary.
I thought it was
so good.
The way it spans so many decades and sounds and looks. Yeah. Okay, we'll get back to that if you want. But I'm asking this question. Acting with your son and acting with your mother, do you think it brought something completely different to your job? Or did you see them as two more actors on the set?
Good question. I mean, look, the relationship that I have in the movie with my son, Sean, is opposite of the relationship I have with my son, Levi, thankfully.
Yes.
And I will say this, the things he says to me as his father in the movie, the hate that he had.
Turning up the volume.
Yeah.
Of the records.
We talked about it. It was like afterwards, it was like, because our relationship is so strong and healthy in real life, go there, man. Yeah. Go all the way.
Get it out of you.
What might be hard is if we had a strained relationship and now you're having to play that out.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're like, no. It's almost like I talk about True Detective. We're like, oh, you went so far into an agnostic sort of nihilistic. And I was like, yeah, my faith was as strong as it's ever been at that time in my life, which I was able to turn my shoulders back to it and trust that it'll be there later. That's what Levi, I think, went through. I said, go for it. Hate me as much as you can and know that at the end of the day, if you do that well, the more the scarier you are to me, the more we don't like each other, that's going to be a better hug at the end of the day.
And how was that hug?
Awesome. Because that day, I did not coddle him. I did not reassure him.
Yes. And
I had worked with him on the scenes for a couple of weeks, but I said on the day, when it's time to go to work and be in your first scene, the classes are over. Teaching's over. You have to own your man. Own what you can. I'm not there as a safety net. I'm not there to coddle. I'm not going to be there to go thumbs up, thumbs down. You're dealing with the director. His name's Paul Greengrass. You've met him. That's y'all's time. I'm going to be playing your dad. Do what you got to do.
Yeah. Do and give it. I was intrigued. One of my favorite interviews is Jamie Lee Curtis. Just a joyful person and a smart, whip smart, and a great reader. Just a good egg, if you will. And she kind of. What you were saying? She spotted this on the radio, or she heard it on NPR or something.
NPR.
Yeah,
and said she pulled over on the side of the road and said, "This movie's got to be made." She calls her friend producer Jason Blum.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And is she exec producer on this as well? Did she get a
She's producer on it.
She's producer on this.
Yeah, she had. So there's the unseen work that a producer does that she did on this is she goes to the real Kevin McKay, the real Mary Ludwig, and says, we want to tell a story about what y'all did on that day. Well, that can be a shocking thing to the real life people, but to get them to understand, hey, this is not a documentary on you. This is not a biography. We're going to take some dramatic license, but we trust that we will capture the true spirit of what you did. Same thing with the first responders. We will capture the true spirit of what you did.
Yeah.
We're not going to exaggerate it, and we're not going to try and underplay it, but can you trust us? And so you got to get those people to be on board, the real people to be on board.
The buy-in is critical.
Yeah. And then, because you're also going to one day show it to them. And go, here's what we did. Thankfully, they were very happy with what we did and understood and during the process that, no, it wasn't telling exactly what you did and exactly what you said. We're making a movie, but this is based off of all the action that you took that day.
A few quick questions about other things. One is, I was driving along today with my partner, Claire, and we were listening to some political thing, and she said, why would anyone want to run for political office these days? It's so horrible, it's so toxic, and it's so cruel. Now, I come from a family there's a lot of politics, a lot of public service as it happens, so I believe in public service and political of trying to do something. And I know you do too, but I was interested to note that you're going to wait for your kids to become young adults before you consider running for office. Is that correct? And if
that's
so,
fair. That's fairly correct.
Fair?
I would say this for sure. Here's what I do know right now. Look, and I gave running for office some serious consideration over the last 5 years.
Yes.
I want the one thing that has always been the most important job for me is being as good of a dad as I can be.
Gotcha.
It's our greatest export. I got 18 years, man.
Yeah.
Before they're gone.
And it flies.
You know, and it does fly. Yeah. And so I want to help do what I can to raise them to get out of the house as the individuals that they are and will become. I would be more equipped as a leader. It's a great African proverb that no man should lead a large community until they've raised the kids through adolescence. Yeah, I will be a better leader, I believe. Yeah. Have to be equipped to be a better
more
leader.
Rounded, able for it,
so I would say I want to do that before I consider. Now, politics, like you said, why would you want to? People say it's a double-edged sword. Yeah, that's one reason why you need more good men and good women to do it now. Maybe to re-engineer what politics really is.
Yes.
That's going to be a revolutionary process if that's the way to go.
Correct.
Because you do go in, there is an inherent sense of betrayal going into it. Betrayal. At least of other people and most likely yourself in politics.
Because you have to, who are you betraying?
Who are you betraying?
Yeah.
A lot of what you're betraying, what I see is a lot of you're betraying a lot of what you believe in.
Yeah.
You're not necessarily doing what they believe.
Yeah.
And that's not a knock on them. They'll tell you right to your face, no, this is about what I believe. This is about what I need to do to party preservation, to get reelected, to do what my constituents want. So
in a parlor game, is it Congress? Is it the governor's mansion? Is it senator, congressman, governor's mansion, or higher again?
I don't know. I mean, governor's CEO of the state.
That probably makes more sense then.
You can get which one can get more done.
Governor's probably the answer.
Yeah, probably the CEO position.
Yeah. I think you make a great politician because
you do. Why?
I tell you why. Because when the first Kennedy left Wexford in Ireland in 1848, when there was a famine happening, as you know, he went over and worked as a cooper in Boston. And this history story ends very quickly.
Yeah.
And then his family went in to work in bars. And when you work in a bar or in retail, you become great at meeting people, and they'll say, "Oh, I know the guy up the road. I'll fix his drains," and then they become politicians. And within 3 or 4 generations, John F. Kennedy was president of America. And I think that you've got the storytelling ability, but I think you've got the soul. I think you look. Dare I say it? You look the part. That's superficial, but I think you want the part, and I think it's a vocation. And I think that politics are feel a bit unloved at the moment. They need people. You just said it yourself. They need people to come in and make their presence felt. Do something nice.
Well, thank you for that kind word.
What do you think? You going to go for it?
Don't know yet. I will see. I'm not putting that pressure on myself right now.
I think you're right. You're not in a rush anyway. Austin FC.
Yeah, man.
Talk to me about it. What is this?
Austin FC. Yeah, part owner in the Austin FC Football Club in Austin, Texas.
You seem very proud of that already.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, the game of football, which over there we call soccer because we have that other thing, American football. It's really on the come in America. It really is. And, you know, where is it now? It's in the 5 spot now. It's behind football, basketball, baseball, and hockey. But I see it becoming in the 3 hole very quickly.
In the 3, okay.
Behind basketball.
Why did you get involved? Was it...
Well, I got more involved in soccer because I married a Brazilian.
Yes.
And so
that's the religion
Brazilian,
over there, right?
Yeah, so all of a sudden, you know, games and World Cups and following the ligas, etc., it becomes like some mandatory watching. The kids went in and played soccer. They have some of the mama's Brazilian blood in them. They got really good balance, man. So soccer became on our front step and on our front porch of our family. So when the idea of it coming to town, and my good friend and owner Eduardo Margain offered me in to the ownership and to come in and do some work as the Minister of Culture, since I'm from Austin, and sort of what is our supporter group, what's our fan experience, what is the day's game like, which I must say it's a top experience in the MLS, at Q2 Stadium where we are. And it looks like we're on the brink of making the playoffs again this year. Not that that's enough, or not that that's our final goal, but we just won 4 out of the 6. We lost last night, but we'd won 4 out of 5 before that. And we're putting, got a decent quality on the pitch. Yeah. And I think, look, that's going to need to happen. World Cup could be a huge meter mover for soccer.
Taking it into the 3rd spot then.
We're bringing the world's coming. So my hunch is that there's going to be the general soccer fan in America that is going to become a rabid fan. When the World Cup comes, they're going to go, oh.
Yeah.
There's these different styles, these different colors, these different ways of playing. I love the World Cup because all the stereotypes you make about people in a country, they kind of, on the pitch, the style of play, you go, that's how they play.
The passionate Latin players and the
but it's wonderful.
Europeans.
It's such healthy tribalism.
It is, and it brings everyone together as well in whatever country. It's great fun. Okay, Matthew, it's been a real pleasure talking to you today.
All right.
I really, really enjoyed it, and thank you. The Lost Bus, running in select cinemas now, released on Apple TV Plus on Friday the 3rd of October. Your beautiful book,
Poems
and Prayers, and you were reading in the window of Foyle's bookshop in central London yesterday in this big battered old leather armchair, and you looked very comfortable there storytelling.
I was comfortable. They told me it was time to go, and I was like, I was just settling in. I thought that's something that had been done all the time. I thought it was like happened daily, and I was told no. I was like, great. Got to sit in the window in a nice chair.
I was thinking when I was watching that, God, he must have great fun at night when your kids were little, reading those stories, whatever stories you were reading to them. Yeah. Putting on voices and goofing around.
Yeah. They did. They didn't like my voices as much as I like doing them.
So you go up and say, kids, that's a big bed night story. They go, no thanks, we're doing a bed night story.
Just read that straight, but don't do all the voices. Yeah.
Matthew, what a pleasure. Take care of yourself, and best to your mother.
Thank you. I'll let her know that, man.
Thank you.